Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to make a composition cover in the hoop from Off With Their Threads. So what you're going to need is two pieces, one for the front, one for the back. You're going to need two pieces for the sleeves, and these could be different colors if you want them. You're going to need a little piece to cover up where the elastic joins. You're going to need a 10-inch piece of fold over elastic, and I pre-stretched it before I cut it. I'm making this composition notebook for my niece, and she likes the game Among Us. So I'm going to put Among Us on it. I'm going to do it pink, a little piece for his mask. And that's it, guys. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is I have one sheet of tearaway stabilizer in my 5x7 hoop. All right, so let's set this down. All right, so first thing we're going to do is run the placement lines. Step 1. All right, we're going to get our first piece. We're going to lay it down, kind of center it on here, making sure we cover up all the placement lines, and run this second step. As you can see, it did the Among Us on it. So I'm going to take my little piece of pink. Can you see that it done the Among Us? Let's get you in here, maybe you can see a little better. Okay, I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to run the next step, except I'm going to change the color to number 4, and then I'm going to run it. Okay, so you want to take this to out of the machine and trim around this as close as you can get without cutting any of your stitches. I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I went to the counter and I used my double curved scissors and I cut out just as close as I could get to the stitches. I'm going to put it back in the machine. Now it's going to do the mask. Just going to do the placement lines for it. I'm going to make his mask gray. I'm going to lay it down here. Switch colors and run that. And that's what it looks like. Now I'm going to take it and trim around here. All right, that's what he looks like cut out. I'm going to put him back in the machine. Now I believe it's going to do the features on the Among Us character, so I'm going to turn my thread to pink. still gonna need it pink, so it's gonna do like the satin stitches around him and all. So I'm gonna turn it back to pink. Nope. Let's see. Let's do that too. It's gonna do the mask. Now I think it's going to do the satin stitch on Among Us. So I'm going to turn it pink. Yes. Now it's going to do around his mask. I think I want that color. Okay, now what it's going to do is it's going to give us our placement line for our elastic. So I'm going to run that one. I'm going to take it off the machine so I can show you what it did. It just put a square there. So what I'm going to do is take my elastic right side up, and I'm going to put it right there. And I'm going to tape it in. I'm going to put it just like that. Okay? And then I'm going to take, you got to have both hands for that. Hold on, I got to put this back. So once I have that one taped in, I'm going to swing this around and put right side up on top of this one again. And I'm going to tape it in. Just like that. I'm using masking tape, so it's okay to sew through. It shouldn't hurt your machine at all. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move these back out of the way and sew the next step. Actually, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So now that they're sewed in, I can remove this tape. It's right here. Just pull it right off. I actually think I'm going to leave that piece in the middle just to help secure it so it don't pull through and stuff. So I'm just going to leave that piece there. We're fixing to cover it up. Take your little scrap piece here. You can do any color you want. I just figured I'd stay with the same color. Lay it over it till it's flat, making sure you cover up all the box. Hold the elastic back out of the way and sew. And then hit the next step. Okay, so now what you want to do is it's got us a box with an X on it. So now what you want to do is trim this as close as you can get to these stitches, making sure not to nick your elastic, because if you nick it, it's going to fray and you won't have elastic anymore. And also making sure that you're not hitting any of your stitch lines. So I'm going to go do that and I'll be right back. Alright, so that's what it looks like. I trimmed it around there. And while I had it off the machine, what I did was I turned my hoop over to the back, took our inside piece and taped it on. So I'm going to put it on the machine. And I'm going to look under here and make sure everything's good and flat. I'm going to take another piece of tape and I'm going to take this out of the way so it's not catching on anything and flipping and flopping anywhere. Just going to tape it down. So it don't catch on anything. Just like that. And then I'm going to run the next step. Okay, so now what you want to do is take your hook off your machine and your two side pieces you want to put like this. You want to overlap this line right here by 1/2 inch on both sides. So put this one right here and the other one on the other side. Tape them in and I'm going to go do that and be right back. Alright, so this is what the front of our hoop looks like. This is what the back of our hoop looks like. I drew a line, lined my 1/2 inch from that seam, see, and then I just lined this up with that line. These are right side up. So very carefully, I'm going to put this back in the machine. Peek under it, make sure everything's good and flat like it's supposed to. Nothing got caught, moved, and shifted. Everything looks good, so now I'm going to run the next step. Okay, run the next step. It's going to put the spine down the middle. And we're through sewing. So now I'm going to take this to the table and we'll do the next step. Alright, so that's what the front of your hoop looks like. That's what the back of your hoop looks like. So you can remove all your tape. Then I leave this piece taped just so I don't hit it with the scissors when I cut around it. So free it from the hoop, pull your stabilizer away. All this tearaway stabilizer. There you go. And it's garbage. So take you some pretty sharp scissors because you're cutting through 3 layers of vinyl, and you want to trim around this and about 1/8 of an inch. Just like this. Make sure you got some pretty sharp scissors. Turn the last corner. That's what it looks like. So now you can free this from the hoop. Free this from your tape. You can get these little composition notebooks. There's a 3-pack. Let's see what size they are. They measure 3 3¼ by 4½. These little cute little composition notebooks. I'm going to trim some of these strings off that want to be knotty on the back. There you go. So just stick your composition notebook in here. Okay, that way. And all the way in there, that way. Line your spine up. Because it's vinyl, it's a little stiff to begin with. Put your elastic around it. And there's your cute Among Us composition notebook from Off With Their Threads. I will leave a link to it in the description below. And that's it for me today, guys. See you in the next one.